Hello, everyone. Mr. Zern here. Let's get right into it. For our very first assignment, we're going to be working in a program called Blockly, and we're going to be making the quintessential program that everyone makes right out of the gate, and that is a Hello World program. So we're going to be using Blockly, and there's a link there in Schoology for you. You can click that. There's another one at the bottom. Any of those will work fine. And so here I am in this other tab. I'm in the Blockly environment. And the way this works is over here are these drawers, and you can basically pull out these puzzle pieces, or in this case, what they're technically called as blocks. And there's a variety of things here, which we'll eventually get into. Now, Blockly, like App Inventor later, is a block-based programming. And so this utilizes a form of abstraction, and a lot of programming involves abstraction on various levels. Basically, it takes a lot of code and condenses it into a single command, or in the case of Blockly and soon then App Inventor, blocks. We don't necessarily have to understand how it works. We just have to know that it does work. And so, for example, at the bottom here, we see you've kind of got a fancier one here, but some block-based coding there. We're not sure what it does, but it's definitely doing something. On the right, we've got some code in Python. Obviously, a lot less abstraction there. Definitely a bit more difficult to use. And so the beautiful thing with block-based is, like, right out of the bat, you can start to create some computer programs. Of course, there is a con to that, is that you're kind of limited. If there's not a puzzle piece that does it, we can't make the program do whatever the thing is that you want it to do. So the bottom left, kind of an example of a higher level abstraction. On the right, a lower level of abstraction, but something just maybe to blow your mind. Even though this chunk of Python code there looks pretty complicated, even the language such as Python, which we'll be learning later this semester, is still a abstracted form of coding, because that is above what might be even more complicated, which would just be the ones and zeros, in that binary code. So, Python is an abstraction of something even more complicated, and probably difficult to use. But again, you could make it do anything with those ones and zeros. And so using a block-based program is a great place for us to begin. All right, so Blockly basically works top to bottom, and it reads left to right. So here I've got some 4 puzzle pieces, and if I press play to execute the program, it says 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so it doesn't matter really. They don't have to be, the puzzle pieces don't have to be together. They could be, separated. So here they are not together, but it's going to play in the same way. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could lay it out in a different way. So here it's going to read left to right, top to bottom. So we should get something here where it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so just kind of give you an idea of like how the layout in these programs would work. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Deleting them is easy enough. You can click on it and press delete. We could drag it down to the trash can. And again, I often snap them together, but they do not have to be snapped together if you want. We can also duplicate them. I do Control-C, Control-V to copy paste, as once I have something kind of there and I want to change it. So again, like 1, 2, and then 3, and then I copy paste that one, and I could make a 4. Right clicking here, we can collapse pieces. You could disable blocks. So if we had a bunch of things going on here and I don't want it to keep saying 3 and 4, I should be able to disable that block. So now it's going to go 1, 2, 4. And later there'd be reasons to do that. Like you've got a big chunk, you don't want to have to sit through it every time. We could disable those blocks. And so again, disable block. And now we're just going to see 2 and 4, 2 and 4. And so this kind of gives you a quick crash course there in just sort of like what Blockly looks like. And so, as I said, you're basically the big, this assignment here, really kind of just doing one thing, and it's making a program that is going to print the following string. And a string is, again, one of 4 types of variables, and basically text basically is a string is simply something that means text. This says hello world. And so you can probably guess we're going to be working there in the text drawer. And we can see here this means like, hey, blank, like I want to put something blank in there. I could put numbers. I could put in a string, whatever you want in there. So that's just simply a blank string. Now, if I hit play, let's see, does it do anything? Let's find out. Now, nothing's happening there because there's really not a command to tell it to do something. So if I go back into text, we can see there's lots of kind of things in here, some which we'll get into and others we won't. There's a print statement. So I can kind of snap that in there. And now when I hit play, hey, hello. I could, we could stack them together and have it ask a question, how are you? Have it hit play. So, and then hello. How are you? Now I can't enter anything or do much with it, but again, we can kind of see that taking effect and working there. All right, so everything you're going to be using here is going to be inside this text drawer. Variety of things there to kind of experiment with if you want. But ultimately, you are creating a program that basically prints the statement, hello world. Of course, you can amaze me by having it print additional statements or even making it a bit more interactive. Now, to submit this to me, something you need to do. If you were just to give this link to me, that's not going to work. What we need to do is click this little chain link button over here. Watch the URL up there change when I do that. All right. Basically says, hey, it basically made a copy of the page. I'll just say okay. And we can see now there's a hashtag followed by some letters and numbers. And so that, I'm going to select that all. And you are going to want to copy that, and that is what you would submit to me in Schoology so that I can test your program. I also encourage people to bookmark it. I believe it's Control D, and you could, bookmark your program so that you could revisit it later. And I realize this one's super simple. We're going to get into some more complicated ones very soon, and you might need to do it in more than one sitting. So if you don't click that chain and bookmark it, you're going to be hard pressed to ever find your program again. Because as you see, you're not going to create any kind of login to use that program. All right, so there's a little crash course in Blockly. Look forward to seeing what you create, and I'll talk to you guys later.